it's the first time we get to see the hometown favorite, of course, Optic Gaming, on our main stage here in Arlington. A lot to talk about, obviously a lot of discussion, a lot of moves. We know all about it, but we get to talk about it now before we get into this series. Andy, Optic Gaming make the move in the offseason, Dead Zone enters, APG leaves, and now we get to see how it works out for them as we get through this weekend.
Yeah, let's not forget the last time we were in an opener, it was Optic Gaming that was getting the rings on the main stage. How different things are now, how much can change in just 1 year's time. Optic Gaming now on the back foot in the Halo Championship Series, coming in not only failing to take last year's World Championship, also coming in here with the 5th seed with their new addition. So a lot of question marks, of course, around this Optic Gaming team, but they would love nothing more than to silence the critics, put the rumors to rest, and to take a big win here on the main stage in front of a hometown crowd.
Yeah, a lot of discussion considering that we haven't even had a game yet, right, for Optic Gaming. I think that's something just to keep in mind. Yeah, we've had some build-up and online tournaments, but this is where things start for real, and we're yet to see Optic Gaming even play in the LAN environment on that main stage. And the team they're going up against, as we take a look at our series layout, is going to be BitterSweet. And this is a group of players who, if they put in a performance here, maybe are names we're going to be talking about as we walk through the season a little bit further.
Yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on exactly how they play here, of course. Those four, no stranger to high-level competitive Halo, but the Green Wall, they're out to reclaim the throne. They've put together this roster, of course, and as we talked about in the show open, any changes that took place over the past 4 months were done with one purpose, to take down FaZe and to take a World Championship. We'll have to see how they look at their first look here on the main stage.
And of course, all eyes are going to be on Dead Zone, right? Because he's the new player, he's the new face, but I kind of want to take the attention away from him in the conversation a little bit, because this is a team of 4 players who should have enough kind of history, ability, that it doesn't fall on the shoulders of one player, right? It's everybody who has to perform for Optic Gaming, and they have. Everyone forgets very quickly, like, their performances throughout the season, right? They were almost there in the Halo World Championships. They were almost there every single tournament if they weren't winning it. They just try and look to raise that bar a little bit higher, add that extra level of consistency, and maybe this is going to be the season where everybody's looking at Optic after Sunday and saying, hey, they're the team to beat.
Exactly. They know what it feels like to be the team to beat, right? They know what it feels like to be the most talked about team. Lucid especially knows what it feels like to be the best player in the world in terms of how the community feels, and I think Optic Gaming, as the Let's Go Optic chant already erupts in the room, they're looking to get back into that place, not just in terms of placings, but even mentally as well, right? You have to think Optic Gaming, a lot of ups and downs over the final events of the year last year. Instead, you see smiles on TriPPPeY's face. They're going to look to make it a very different 2024.
They certainly are indeed, and I kind of respect the fact that they felt they needed something new, and they went for something new, right? We've heard about it from Dead Zone himself. We've heard about that move, but I want to talk about the other side of the stage a little bit, right? Because we know what everyone's looking at for Optic Gaming, but when you're looking at the other side for BitterSweet, you got Breakingshot, Cherished, Piggy. I mentioned how these are names who have kind of floated about some big series, you know, have had some strong performances, maybe in some online tournaments, some clips that you will remember if you've been watching them in the build-up. But this group of 4, I really like how they come together. I think there's a really good mix of not only ability, but I think just play style as well. I think they mesh together very nicely, and I think this is going to be, I'm not going to oversell this as a series which is going to be a competitive one where they're going to run away with it, but I do think they can cause Optic some problems in some of these games if Optic aren't on top of it.
Yeah, it's a really big opportunity for them, because keep in mind, this is the first time this Optic Gaming roster is playing together on LAN. Let's not forget that. You have to think this team playing really with nothing to lose in a match like this.
Yeah, and I think this is potentially a group of players who could be next up, so to speak. You know, put that in inverted commas when it comes to the Halo Championship Series. So keep your eyes on these players, see what they do in this series, see how they perform against some of the best in the world, and hey, maybe they're going to be in the shop window come the next event themselves.
Yeah, it's a similar conversation to what we said about FaZe earlier, right? FaZe really needed to start this tournament just feeling like, okay, we're letting the nerves settle. We're feeling good. FaZe, of course, winning their first series that we saw earlier, 3-0. Now, Optic Gaming going to be looking to doing the same thing, essentially, making sure that it's a well-oiled machine. Everything they expect to be firing is firing correctly. And they also want to exit here 3-0. Let's not forget, if this is a 3-1 or a 3-2 for them, it's a pretty different result, a different feeling.
I will say the new Optic jersey is looking extremely clean on the main stage as well. And there is the new man. There is the new pickup. And boy, will he want to, even in the first play that he makes on this main stage, want to make an impact. Because I would say if you're making your debut as a new player, there's no better place to do it than your own event, right? Here in Arlington with the hometown fans in front of you. You know, one big play and everyone loves Dead Zone. It's as simple as that, and that breeds confidence for him going through the tournament.
It really will, and I think it's only going to build more and more. We already know just how confident Zane is and how talented he is, and to think now under the Optic banner what this presents to him, right? It's really a different stage in his career, because I think we've always respected Dead Zone for what he's done over the years, of course, during the Pznguin era, as we'll call it. However, now an opportunity to even write a whole new chapter in his career under the Optic banner. It starts here in game number 1.
Well, I will say, Optic Gaming, name changes. Hey, Lucid knows that it works pretty well if you get it right. And for Dead Zone, he's going to be hoping to recreate that kind of success on the new lineup as we jump into our first game of the series. We've got a little bit of oddball to play on streets.
See what he can do here off the rip. Some early damage here, and of course, looking forward to seeing what this man can do. As expected, all eyes on him throughout the entire weekend, and it all starts now. Early grabbing the ball as well.
One thing you can guarantee is that Dead Zone never afraid to pick up that oddball, do that objective work. He will fill in any role that is required for Optic Gaming to have success. Breakingshot going to get a little kill here as Dead Zone tries to just put his foot on the gas for a second, but it is going to be the camo actually going over to BitterSweet, and this is their opportunity now to make a play.
Ball. Giving up a TriPPPeY here now. Able to spot up the camo. Needs to be careful here in this 1v1. This would be big. It gets taken down. It's a nice job by BitterSweet to eliminate the last 2 there. That's 2 dead. About to maybe be 3. Last player's music. 3 dead for Optic. What a start here for BitterSweet.
Yeah, really, really good start here. The camo has been the difference maker. They've got that ball back to tower as well. So this is more guaranteed time. And I gotta be honest, I kind of love how Cherished is just pushing this kill out immediately, taking his time. And he knows that player is going to push, and if he's not pushing, he's not stopping that oddball. A little bit of a trade coming in here, but early on, like you say, BitterSweet with a very, very good hold of back tower.
Yeah, really nice job. Of course, it all comes off of that camo grab. They're able to get the delayed camo grab, and that really allows them to slowly, one by one, take down those players around tires. However, Optic Gaming answering back. Formal really patient with the spike stairs push. They get 2 dead, but also enter back right away.
One thing to highlight, of course, is the fact that we're talking about camo, right? It's the first time we're going to see it, and how it influences games, and you've already seen how it can influence one play, which turns into a setup for teams. So camo going to be one of the most valuable pickups you're going to see here on streets, and you can control it, you can make plays, and on oddball, especially when you're trying to kind of thread the needle a lot of the time on setups, it can be the perfect thing to help you on your way.
It really can. That opening battle was just a really good example of how a delayed camo plays so differently than the Rockets did. It was, as you saw, a completely different opening to the game, and it really required a lot more coordination, a lot more playmaking, and just timing with your team rather than just simply grabbing 2 Rockets off the rip.
By the way, Breakingshot, what a start it's been from him. 8-2, make it 8-3, of course. It will go down as soon as we start to talk about him, but Optic now in control of that oddball and starting to pull this game back. Only 2 points between the 2 teams. It's been a little bit of a transitional setup. It's not been solid, but it's been good enough to keep BitterSweet away from that ball.
Yeah, interestingly also, the team's tied at 14 kills apiece, and also essentially the game tied right here at the 22-24 mark as well. So neck and neck off of the opening.
Big win though coming in from Piggy there. Just got the jump on Lucid to get above him to hit that headshot. As TriPPPeY tries to just run away towards his teammate Formal with that oddball. Piggy trying to push down on the commando here as he jumps up on the pizza jump and tries to cut the angle.
Ooh, very nice.
Should be able to get the trade in this position. 2 dead on either side, but as I finish my sentence, the other 2 players from BitterSweet will fall. 4 dead for them, and that'll be more time here for Optic as they go into a lead.
Really good timing. They were right away able to grab the ball yet again. As you said, still 4 dead. Lucid just going to get the pings down on the spawners. Also, let's see what he could do from here with the Bulldog, just holding down streets. Gets a little cheeky angle there as well on the L. He's going to know about that player pushing.
Still got that Bulldog in his hands as well. Only 2 shells to play with. It's enough to strip away at some shields, but Cherished and Piggy will come out of that, win that fight. Now Formal kind of trapped at the moment. He's having a peek, jiggle, see if he can get a trade in this position, but Morton, he plays that so well, and not only gets Formal, but also comes out of that situation with a double and the oddball. It's a perfect push, a perfect break, and now BitterSweet have a chance to put some points on the board.
A really nice break, as you say. Now they're only trailing by 20. If that battle went a different way, this would be a very different second half of this game. Instead, they brought it right back, now only trailing by about 15, with very good pressure coming in here for Breakingshot as he times the push back to B-stairs, times the push back around to caution as well.
I was going to say, look at the aggressions being shown here. They're walking so far up the map to try and get damage onto the spawners from Optic Gaming, but it's coming the double-edged sword, right? Yeah. If it doesn't work, all of a sudden you give the oddball away and you're on the back foot. So I like the idea. I like that they're trying to take the fight to Optic, but sometimes doing something like that against a team like Optic, you fall into their trap as the camo comes up.
Let's see what TriPPPeY could do. He's going to shroud, maybe get away, maybe be a burn here. He has the help, and oh my, he does get taken down by a second nade that came in from Breakingshot. That will mean 3 dead, and they play the camo well, 4 dead. BitterSweet does not get the camo. Triple kill in the feed for Piggy, but they will get the burn on the camo as well, and just like that, they're down by less than 20. So just when it looked like Optic Gaming was going to run away with it, BitterSweet is able to get the kills they need. Also staggered spawns yet again, 3 dead. Back-to-back wipes coming in from BitterSweet as they now only trail by 7.
And that's what happens right there. When you get aggressive and you get that first pick, you get the first info, and you turn it into 2, into 3, then you can force those spawns back. And look at the space that the oddball carrier has right now in comparison to the rest of his team. Nobody can contest that oddball for a few moments here for Optic. They have to prioritize kill and working around it. But one way to do that is let TriPPPeY go in and get a triple kill. The ball is down in PD.
Interesting. TriPPPeY gets a triple. They should be able to flush this one out of PD relatively quickly. Yes, they do. Morley was your last player alive, so now this should be a hold. Tie game for a second at 69 points. However, Optic scoring yet again. They only need 25 points to close out the round, and a Let's Go Optic chant starts in the room.
Yeah, Optic fans, not surprising to hear them getting behind their team in these final moments, and that could be the difference maker. As BitterSweet has given it as good as they've got so far in this first round of oddball. Oof. The next set of kills could be massive to where this round actually ends up going. There's the repulse though. Formal has to back down. A little bit of help coming in through mid-map, and it's going to be Deadzone who punches the hole through the setup. 2 dead here for BitterSweet. Ball is down.
Huge that Formal stays alive there. That would have been 3 dead for Optic. Instead, they maintain really good positioning here. 2 players alive on the map for one team. Let's see if he can be able to get this one. Yes, he gets another. Good help as well.
Oddball still down. Lucid tries to turn his attention towards it, but there is a little bit of a flank coming in here from somewhere. Formal trying to keep his reticle trained onto where Lucid is with that oddball to try and help him stay alive in that situation and keep the BitterSweet push away from the ball. Breakingshot will get that kill, maybe picking up 2 here on TriPPPeY as well. Lucid has the ball in his hands. Is anyone from BitterSweet in position to cut him down on the cross? The answer is yes. And essentially that's 3, 4 dead for Optic Gaming, and maybe BitterSweet might be able to steal this.
Ooh, let's see. Breakingshot's able to wipe out the back of Courtyard, which good. Camo gets all the way.
What the?
We're here. Slow it down, and we'll see if they can stay alive here. Lucid almost hits the drop side into PD. If he hit that, I'm pretty sure they get the last points.
I love the fact that the patience we just saw though, but the grenade comes in. The camo is irrelevant. Cherished gets one though to keep the numbers close. Deadzone gets one. TriPPPeY gets one as well. Cherished last alive. And that push and that grenade onto the camo player to take him out of the game might have just secured things here for Optic Gaming. They have the ball in their hands.
That'll be it. There's no way anyone's pushing Formal in Red Room here. That is going to be the round, and Optic Gaming closes it out with a strong set of late round plays to make sure that they close it out. TriPPPeY 15 and 12 in that game. That's why I love the camo, right? Because how big of a deal is it that Lucid pushes laundry and tires and actually kills the camo without trading? You see amazing plays, big swings coming out. Whether the camo succeeds or fails, you have a really interesting dynamic with the new power-up.
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? If he stays alive for just a second there, Camo got all the information where the Optic push was coming. He guarantees a back smack or a kill without being traded, essentially, and you could argue that BitterSweet get that round, but no. The kill goes in the favor of Optic Gaming, and the margins we always talk about, this round at least, go in the favor of Optic. Starting off on the second round, though, already you can see Deadzone. He's got a red gun in his hands, and not only that, Optic have a ball in their hands, too.
Talking about Breakingshot's numbers earlier as well. He's continued that. He's 18 and 11 from that first round. A lot to talk about there, but they're going to need an even better performance as a squad if they want to get this second round on the board.
Deadzone was momentarily one of the last alive there. Lucid managed to get into position to help him, but you have to wonder if he's going to go for a play ball here or if he's going to try and bash some skulls in with a skull. Instead, it's kind of neither, as Cherished now has the red gun in his hands. Oddball's being taken back towards Tram here by Piggy as well, and Optic find themselves 3 dead. It was a little bit of a scrappy push. It was almost unpredictable where players were coming from, but at the end of it, it looks like BitterSweet have actually won the battle.
Interesting there. Lucid just has one shot into Arcade. That's going to let them know they're pushing from Tram on the flank, though, so BitterSweet might be ready for that one. Let's see where the first pick is here. All 8 players up right now.
Enemy has the ball.
Lucid's going to get the damage, clean up the damage, I should say, that's being done by his teammates. That's going to be evened out, though, and another kill comes in from Mortley there, and Mortley last alive. It's a 1v1 on the map at the moment with the oddball down back tower. TriPPPeY and Mortley. TriPPPeY has that first shot, but the last shot will be hit by Mortley. The 1v1 is won, but the time bought means that he's going to have to get his shields back, and it's going to be essentially another team fight before that oddball is scooped up.
3 dead. Deadzone's your last player alive. As you can see, he's top Cafe. They're going to get ready for that push. If they can isolate that battle, Deadzone going to be waiting now on Cafe. As you saw, he came back just a bit, so they're able to isolate that, and the game will be really close here, just about tied to the 25 mark.
Just thinking there, how are they going to cross with this oddball without getting cut down? Well, one way is just to roll it off to a teammate. Wow, Repulse is up, gets the killing spree. Mortley really playing this strong at the moment. It's a 2v2 on the map, and with a close-range weapon and the ability to serve that one up like a tennis player, he might keep that ball out of the hands of Optic for a few moments more. One thing they can't keep out of the hands of TriPPPeY, though, is the camo.
Camo and Bulldog here, gonna just hold front tram and really using the camo to take sightlines he would normally not be able to take. And of course, that's gonna guarantee him the first shot as well. Be surprised if he pushes this cafe more than he needs to. Just like that, no reason to push all the way up there. Instead, he's just gonna hold the angle and they'll continue to extend their lead. Yeah,
it's a really strong setup here for Optic. Almost doubling the score that we've seen come in from BitterSweet here in the last few moments or so. And TriPPPeY holding down the pink street at the moment almost single-handedly. He's getting 1 or 2 kills, a little bit of damage here or there. Mortally's last player alive, and TriPPPeY knows he's somewhere as they watch each other's crosses. He doesn't know, however, that Mortally was just being a little bit sneaky in the cafe.
Looking very, very good here from Optic Gaming, and nice shot by Mortally once again to get that kill really efficiently without taking really any damage whatsoever. However, the damage that's being done is all about the scoreboard. Deadzone's actually your last player alive from Optic, and look how difficult this is being. Finally, he gets taken down. He gets a momentary play ball, but it's not enough to make sure the ball doesn't get back into Tram. But after that hold, let's not forget, it was just 26-21. Now it's 64-31. Big lead here for Optic.
Yeah, impressive hold, but at the same time, you got to think, BitterSweet now having the hold themselves, the same setup, but with Mortally hitting shots like this is a big opportunity for them to get back into this game and really get close to tying this round up if they can do what Optic just did to them.
And at this stage in the game, BitterSweet is outslaying 66-33, but just like that, as those kills fall, it essentially becomes within 1. We'll see if they can do it in this round, though.
Piggy last alive. He'll be traded out, but does manage to get the trade before he goes down. However, numbers still heavily in the favor of Optic Gaming, and Formal is going to be able to use that Shroud as well to help his teammates maybe get that next camo. 66-47. Obbo is down front tram at the moment. Next set of kills could be important here. If it goes the way of Optic, they will be pretty close to getting the kills they need and securing the time they need to close this game out.
Here's the man on your screen here. We talked about him a lot. We'll see what he can do with a camo Bulldog here on the Neon's push.
Yeah, this is an opportunity here. Formal gets 1 to kind of clear a little bit of space for Deadzone to move through with his camo, but BitterSweet with that ball back in their hands. And I tell you what, every time it feels like Optic are just getting a lead, and it's looking like the Optic story where they just close things out. BitterSweet are given as good as they got, but the play from Deadzone might have just shut the door.
66-57 on the board, 2 dead for each side here. On board with TriPPPeY, it's a big kill there to win that first one without taking once again much damage. It all should have got the second. Cherished, though, has help from Piggy. And that'll allow maybe the driveway push to still come through.
Looks like they're going to try and flood this. Lucid is in red room, and with the repulse, is going to slow this push down for just a few seconds more. Lots of support from teammates as well, and with that Oppo down, they don't have to try and push for these kills. They just have to stop.
Ball drop.
Progress being made towards that oddball,
Has the ball.
but they're not able to. Look at Breakingshot. He somehow got that ball away back up to the tram stairs.
And just like that, take a look. Now essentially a tied game here at the 65 mark. It's a nice hold and Breakingshot. If he wins that, that would have been huge. However, Lucid Stalker Rifle, not the easiest thing to go up against.
Yeah, you ain't winning that. It's as simple as that when you're going up against Lucid and he's got that Stalker. Cherished, though, with the double kill is going to put Lucid under more pressure. Piggy's trying to fly through on the commando, but here's Lucid! Double kill from him, perfect shots again, put the Stalker to use.
Breakingshot, though, now has it in hand as well. Very nice damage. That's going to be cleaned up. That'll keep 2 dead for Optic. Maybe opportunity for a hold here as well.
4 points between the 2 teams in this second round. Flank coming in again here from Breakingshot. Can't clean up the kill on TriPPPeY, though. And how much will that hurt them?
TriPPPeY somehow just eating all those Stalker shots in the back. Not able to finish that with the headshot. Piggy not able to get away either. Camo popping now. You could say this is a very big point in the game here. 68-62 with the camo popping now.
Lucid's a player with it, and he's not going to pop it, I'm pretty sure. I think it's going to be down at the bottom of those B stairs. And while the distraction is going down, look at Deadzone. Ball in his hands. He's moving towards spawners as you need to keep that ball away from BitterSweet. This is the last opportunity for them to push. Deadzone doesn't get a dead slide, though. Throws that one out towards Formal and keeps that ball away.
See if Formal gets some damage and maybe goes for a hold here. Wisely backs down just due to his amount of shields he had. Able to clean up the 1 shot. 84-62. See if they can clear this out, but they're going to try to rotate this ball back to Tram if they can on the side of BitterSweet.
Yeah, they might be able to just steal this one away. Formal gets the clean up on the kill. Formal is the player they need to deal with, though. He's doing so much damage at the moment to create opportunity for TriPPPeY to go forward, for Lucid to go forward, and now he is anchoring for the team, but look at the kill feed. All of a sudden, it's turned around. BitterSweet find 3 kills in a row. Optic find themselves with 1 alive, and I tell you what, this round is not done yet.
Ooh, Lucid's able to get one. He's going to now just scout back to teammates. Finally gets taken down. That's a very big kill that comes in for Piggy. If Lucid stays alive there, the push is going to come in. However, despite all of this, you see the ball still sitting front tram. Not a lot of points on the board. It's been a lot of kills and a lot of chaos. Finally, BitterSweet grabs the ball. However, all 8 players alive.
Look at Cherished, though. He's playing that pellet, and he's playing Optic at the moment like a fiddle. They cannot get that kill. 2 dead on either side at the moment. However, Cherished now finds himself as last alive, and he's in the zone of dead zone. Now you're seeing the ball taken away. This will be the final points. Nobody close enough from BitterSweet to really challenge. TriPPPeY should deal with this pretty comfortably, and it will be Optic Gaming who got 1-0 in the series.
Wow, and can you ask for any better stats there? Dead zone with 23 and 18 with 18 assists and all the ball time on top of that as well. In the end, Optic Gaming, they will recover, not only on the scoreboard, also in the kills category. They outslayed 95-89 across the 2 rounds.
Yeah, pretty good game overall, you would say, from Optic, but at the same time, you could say a pretty good game from BitterSweet. Really made them work for it. And like we said at the start of this, if Optic aren't on their game, if Optic have an off series, an off day here, then BitterSweet could be the kind of team to hurt them in a series, take a game or two and really force them to up their game and see what went wrong. But for now, Optic looking pretty strong. It was the final moments of both rounds that went the way of Optic. And how many times do we say that, Andy? It's always the big teams that just seem to, in the final moments of games, final moments of series, for whatever reason, just find another level when they need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dead Zone's land debut with Optic Gaming, the highest KDA in the match, 11.0. Once again, 23, 18, and 18. Fantastic stats. TriPPPeY also going 29 and 25.
Yeah, you don't get better stats than that, to be honest with you, especially in a ball game type, right? We saw him with a lot of objective time alongside it. As we take a look back at some of these replays, the defining moment was here, right? In game number 1, I believe it was, where, or just after this, excuse me, where the camo player was taken down by Optic just when it looked like he was in the perfect position to relay so much information. The frag grenade came in, took those shields off, and immediately was cleaned up, and they were able to scarper away with that oddball towards the end of the game towards the red room.
Once again, really nice stuff here just throughout the entirety of the round. I think each time it felt like BitterSweet was bringing the game back, you would find Optic Gaming just really applying the exact pressure that they needed to. I think we saw some really good moments of brilliance from BitterSweet here and there, some really good control, and also, as we said, some points on the board. For me, in the second round, one of the biggest moments was really when you had BitterSweet slaying about 3 dead, about back-to-back, and the ball just sat front tram. And really because the last player on Optic Gaming was just able to keep them off the ball, you have to think we could be pretty far into a round number 3 if those moments played differently.
Yeah, that's the thing though, right? They don't play differently. There's a reason that Optic throw that ball out to the front of trap. Yeah. There's a reason that they keep challenging it and keep contesting it, because they know the spawn timing that they have. They're going to be able to keep get line of sight, keep taking players down. And in the end, they will get the numerical advantage and keep BitterSweet off that oddball. And that's exactly what happened as we move over to now game at number 2. Slayer on live fire. I kind of fancy seeing some sniping work. You know what I mean? I feel like we've been a little bit devoid, personally, of snipes today. We had pretty good ones in the FaZe series earlier, but I feel like, do you know what? I'm going to pick a player.
You are?
I'm going to pick a player right now.
Brave of you.
I know. I think Formal's going to snipe some players, and it's going to be nasty.
I was going to say...
If that happens, by the way, it's weird and terrifying, and I'm saying nothing else.
A lot of talent on that Optic Gaming side. You have to think, though, when you think of the sniper rifle, you think of one name on the Optic Gaming side as the standout. Certainly, Formal has put on a show throughout his years of competitive play across multiple titles. It would be a pleasure and a treat to see him sniping a little bit. But I have to say, I'm here on live fire, curious to see exactly how they play it, how the QT really changes. I think the QT in objective modes can be a lot more impactful because of how important green is in different objective modes and what it actually means in terms of points on the board in King and what it means in Strongholds. In Slayer, the QT usage will be a little bit different. We'll have to see if either team can really take advantage of that. Yeah,
one thing I love about the QT in Slayer, though, is if you're the team on the back foot, I mean, historically, we know the tower side is stronger because you have the height, especially if you have the sniper, you can get it back there, right? It's very difficult to push uphill, essentially, against a team with a full setup. But the QT allows you to overextend a little bit without giving a life away to do so, right? Because you can retreat back to the port and players can play off of the damage that you manage to get down, and then you can come in as the final player, the anchor, whatever you want to call it, to be the final player in that push. And I think it does create a little bit less of a standoffy game type because you have the ability to push. Of course, you also have the camo coming up, which is forcing player movement, player engagement. And if you're on the back foot, it's no longer a case of, hey, we can't do anything. Right. It's, hey, we can play for the camo now and we can try and retake control. We can play for the QT now, we can try and take control. The only worry is if you don't get either of them and a player overextends to green, forces your spawns over on scoreboard if you're on the back foot, and then they QT up and QT out, and then it's pretty tough to get out of. But you should be able to if you're smart enough about it, you should be able to negate that.
Yeah, you absolutely should. I'm curious, because of the placement exactly of the QT here on Livefire, there really is a huge opportunity, as you say, to just poke pillars or poke sandbags, come back, a little bit of damage, and just port way back to safety while your team floods. And I think you're laughing because I said pork instead of pork.
Yeah, I am laughing because I'm a little bit hungry and you said pork sandbags.
Well, it's because we have, no, it's just... It's just because we have Piggy on the other side. Now I just wanted to.
Okay.
It would be an injustice not to give the reference.
The man's a genius, everybody. Give him his flowers. Pork sandbags all round. We're into game number 2.
Sign me up.
We're starting off with the point of view of Formal, and why wouldn't you? Probably for that reason. He goes down almost immediately, but I'm interested to see how Optic play this and what pace this game type is going to be played at.
Lucid with a target-rich environment, you could say, in front of him. He finally gets taken down. Had a lot of options there to shoot at as the team finally floods in. 2 players still on scoreboard for the side of BitterSweet, as you saw. 4 kills early on for BitterSweet.
Make it 5, and there's the camo, but what a spot from Formal. And there's the QT, gets out of it. I mean, previously, Formal, camo-wise, incredible, but probably gets traded out in that position. This time, he takes down the camo player, and because of the QT, stays alive to be part of the next push. It's 4-6 now, just 2 kills.
Well, that is the equivalent of a fadeaway jumper there to hit the shots on camo, and then right when you think you're going to get taken down, the QT vaporizes and just disappears. And now he's still doing damage here on scoreboard. Finally gets taken down.
A little bit of revenge coming in for BitterSweet there. Breakingshot now with the sniper rifle. Momentarily though, it's dead zone. Put him to sleep for just a few moments. That sniper rifle is going to be a point of contention though for both teams. And you can see that Optic want to flood. They want to get the weapon in their hands. Not sure if anyone has managed to scoop it up or if that ammo was depleted. But TriPPPeY's got to be careful of standing on a landmine now. Those frag grenades that pop up on the pork sandbags. Forever renamed. Very common to be shot at now in Halo Infinite. Everyone is going to be waiting for you to poke.
Finally gets taken down, just like that. Now 13-9. BitterSweet continuing to apply the pressure. Triple kill, as you saw from Piggy. That'll be 3 dead yet again for Optic Gaming.
Well, they do have the sniper rifle back in their hands as well. One other of his teammates has got the big stick in his hands. As Piggy comes off the back of that triple kill. 13-9 the score, make it 14 though. As it's going to be Mortally, he was hitting some pretty crazy shots. How was with the bandit, but the flank from Dead Zone out of nowhere. All 4 players from BitterSweet almost holding hands there.
Somehow just stays alive the entire time and stays alive long enough for the flank to come in through A. And just like that, as you say, it's a much closer game than you think maybe it should be. And it'll be 16-14 here.
One kill between the 2 teams at the moment. This is a very, I would say, untraditional pace that we're seeing the game played at the moment. Everyone's constantly kind of trying to pressurize. It's almost a 4v4, but only within 1/4 of the map a lot of the time. Body shot comes in from Lucid as the camo comes up as well, and the attention from Optic and, of course, BitterSweet turns towards the power up.
Gonna keep a very close eye on that camo to see where it goes. A lot of pressure here from Lucid on Rat Tunnel.
He's holding the whole team off.
I was gonna say, holding down Rat Tunnel single-handedly for a second.
Double kill coming in for Dead Zone, almost a triple as well, but the camo, most importantly for Optic, has been picked up. It's a tie game, but I mean, if I'm Lucid in that position and we were in the listening, if he wasn't saying, you have a free camo, the whole team is on me and I'm holding them off, I don't know what he would have been saying.
Really credit there because he pre-nades with the plasma and you thought maybe, yeah, I didn't get the damage he needed, but that actual blast radius just AoE'd the entire Rat Tunnel and ensured, like you said, that they could get the camo.
2 kills the advantage off the back of that camo. Make it 3, make it 4. It's 4 dead on a staggered respawn now for BitterSweet. Optic starting to find a little bit of rhythm, and Dead Zone already finding the spawners to put pressure on.
24-20 now in favor of Optic Gaming, and sounds like we can go ahead and see just what their comms are like. Probably pretty cool comms collected now, back in the lead by 4.
Enemy halfway to victory.
Well, no listening for now, but Optic kind of doing the listening for all of us at the moment with the scoreline, right? It's 7 kills the difference. They have started to find form, and the momentum is heavily on their side.
Yeah, absolutely. Just firing now, not only on all cylinders, but it feels like on every single piece of the map as well. He finally gets taken down after what was a beautiful spree. I'm taking a look at the numbers here. It's going to be Dead Zone once again. He's 10-5 with 9 assists.
Dead Zone really, really impressing in this first series for Optic Gaming. Game is still close, though. The next few moments could be important, though. We always talk about, and we've mentioned it already on the first day here in Arlington of the new season, the best teams in the world are the ones who seem to close out games late. Optic Gaming look to be picking up that story and running with it at the moment. 35 to 29, it's a 6-kill difference between them. But this is the moment where Optic have taken over, and you can see the BitterSweet are just constantly fighting off the back foot.
Yeah, it's a really different game than we saw earlier. BitterSweet really comfortable leading. We saw them leading by about 4 kills for quite some time, but Optic Gaming has turned the game around, and right now, showing no signs of slowing.
Well, Lucid's gone on a long flank here because he knew the camo was coming up, but it's BitterSweet who actually pick it up. And if ever you needed an opportunity to get back into the game, a camo is going to do exactly that. It's only a 4-kill difference. It's not like this is a 10-kill difference going in towards the end game here. And Optic just try and slow this game down to make this camo use as minimal as possible.
Yeah, it's a great call by you, Mark. Look at this, just sitting right. They're going to set scoreboard. They're going to sit all the way back in house and not make the push up. Here comes the start of a push. However, look at the sandbag support on Formal top middle. They're making sure the camo was not a factor. Camo has now timed out, and they still lead here by 4.
Formal has to reload, and that's going to cost him. Still such a close game, but that gap's still there on the side of Optic. 2 dead for them momentarily as Mortley watches that jump up, and TriPPPeY is going to jump into the line of sight there of Piggy after the damage is done. So 3 kills now the difference. 1 team wipe away a BitterSweet from tying this up.
Mortley still alive on the whole sequence. Now, sniper rifle in hand, almost left without the prize, but now he has it. Now it's a 2-kill game. And what looked like it was going to be an Optic home stretch as the flank comes around here on, this is a big battle on cuts. Now a killing spree, and just like that, it's a 1-kill game. Make it a tie game here.
1 kill the difference as the trade came through to tie the game up. 1 more came through for Optic Gaming, but this is a position you want to be in if you're one of these players on BitterSweet, right? You're down by 1, but you have the sniper rifle and you have map control. For Morley, he's probably thinking, this is my chance to go and win this game.
This is big. All eyes on him, not only in the room, but of course online as well. A big opportunity to shut down a team that's often referred to as one of the best in the world. We'll see if he can do it. Here comes the push, though.
Pressure coming in. Doesn't quite get the body shot. It's moments away, it's inches away, it's a hair away, but it's not good enough, and the push from Optic Gaming turns the sniper over to dead zone. He's 14-9 in this game number 2, and he might be able to add a few more to the tally too.
Also leading the team and the game in assists, as we said. You cannot ask for more from this man. As we said, his LAN debut with this team, and games 1 and 2 have looked very good indeed, to say the very least. They're up by 3, 4:40 left on the clock.
Still just 3 kills though. Make it 4. Lucid goes on a little walk and catches him off guard. Camo going to be the point of contention. That's why you're seeing Dead Zone and Optic Gaming just slow things up. But look at that, he's out of there. You want to keep those deaths down.
Still everything to play for on Camo. 47-44. Getting eyes on it really quick. Looks like it might have been grabbed right there. Now 48-44. 2 more kills to go for Optic Gaming.
Camo's still down, so it's going to be baited by Optic here. They know that BitterSweet need it. It's their win condition to get back into this game, but only having 2 deaths to play with, that's going to hurt. But Lucid comes in to get the 49th. He's looking for the 50th as well. Cherished will find one onto Dead Zone. This isn't over yet.
Not over yet at all. Had pings down on Rat Tunnel, and a camo for Mortally game in his hands.
The only problem is he's got to go and make a play. His teammates are taking damage at the moment. The last thing you want to do is not get the chance to make the play. Optic sees the opportunity and find themselves 2-0 up in the series.
Well, how about, love that play from Optic, because that camo gets popped on scoreboard. They may not have known exactly where and when it was popped, but Optic made the call. You could tell by the way it was executed to go. You do not let this camo player start to pick us apart and start to get our heads on a swivel, then we get collapsed on. They went right away. Formal flies in, gets the last kill with the grenade, and they narrowly win 50-47.
Yeah, it was a big comeback in the middle game from BitterSweet as well. 7 kills they came back from to keep that one extremely close. But once again, it's the best teams in the world who get it done in the late game. 50-47 is your final score as we move over to King of the Hill on recharge. And I can't wait to see this, man. It's one of my favorite changes I've seen with the hill placements. I love the Batteries Hill. I love how the camo now isn't just a scrap bottom middle inside of that hill. It just plays so much better.
It really does. Also how the Shroud's going to be playing, of course, instead of the Repulse. A lot to look forward to in this next game type. And as you said, BitterSweet trailing at one point 30-23 in that game. They bring it back all the way to 39-37 to keep things interesting. Here's the fadeaway from Formal. Picks that one up and goes right back to green. Those are the types of plays that we were talking about earlier.
We talk about Dead Zone stats, by the way. I mean, mathematically, I'm always a little bit shaky. However, I've taken a few moments here, and I'm probably still going to get it wrong, but he had 13 kills, 11 deaths, but 15 assists. That is absolutely ridiculous. 15, 16, 18. Involved in 28 of the kills in the game. Over half of the game's kills, Dead Zone had an involvement in. And that is ridiculous for one player.
It really is, and it's also, there's a lot of examples where when we talk about Dead Zone, he's got over 50% of the things in a game are credited to his name. Like we talked about with flag runs last year, flag caps last year, he just had these outlier stats where you're thinking, it shouldn't be that way, that a player can have that much impact in a game. So to be involved in 28 separate battles in that game, like you said, it's crazy. He's tripling the assists of a few other players in the game.
Yeah, that's always a great thing about how a player's outputting damage and positioning themselves in relativity to their teammates. It shows intelligence, it shows great decision making, but it also shows that Optic are listening to it, right? Because he's calling out where that damage is done, and they don't need to be asked twice to move in and capitalize on the damage. That's why those assists are so high, and it looks like he's the pivot for the team that everyone's playing off at the moment.
Certainly, and just like you said, love to see what we're seeing from him. And you have to think for Dead Zone as well. We already know what he's capable of, and there's really no questions about his place in Halo history. However, a big opportunity for Zane on your screen here, just because I think he knows as well how talented he is. However, if he's able to debut here with this squad at an even higher level, set a new personal bar for himself, it will mean a lot for the green wall, it will mean a lot for this squad, it will mean a lot for the fans in the room, and so far, he is 2 for 2 in our first games of the series, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think is one thing we talked about coming into the series, right? If you have a good couple of games, trust me, the crowd here in Arlington will be behind you for the entire tournament, and you couldn't ask for 2 better games, really, so far from him. We'll take a look at some of the head-to-head stats as well on our screen from the man we're talking about, of course, Dead Zone and Cherished on the other side. The assist column is one of my favorite ones, I gotta say. It shows teamwork, but it also shows you are outputting shots for your teammates' benefits.
I mean, absolutely. To also then have a 1.28 KD
There's
on
nothing
top,
bad on the left side.
on top of 33 assists is wild. He's looked so good this series, and I think so far, if he keeps up, I wouldn't even say if he keeps up this pace, if he keeps up any sort of thing reminiscent to this all weekend long, there will be no doubts about the team change. It's a great start, but a little bit more to do here in our first series on the main stage for Optic Gaming.
Yeah, still some work to do, of course, just to close this out, and they want to do it in a way that says 3-0 right at the end of it. They don't want to really let BitterSweet into the series. They want to close this out and say, hey, okay, let's think about what's next. If you let BitterSweet back into the series, they've already shown they're going to push you the long way, right? They're going to take the longest road to push you right until the end of these games. Then that gives them the belief, and maybe starts to cast the doubt in your head a little bit, and all these things start to play in, and before we know it, we're in a game 5. But Optic Gaming are very experienced, and I don't think they'll be thinking too much about that right now.
Yeah, I think it's really what we're seeing also, I think, for Optic fans, is you're hoping that this team change just gives them kind of maybe an injection. You saw smiles there on the face of Lucid, just maybe an injection of just excitement for this season, right? And something new and fresh. And so far, of course, they're looking very good. There's a lot more weekend to play. But I think for the Optic Gaming side, if you're an Optic fan, you're optimistic that this year could be really reminiscent kind of year 1 in terms of the way that Optic Gaming looked and the way that they played.
I mean, they'll probably be hoping exactly that, because they won a lot of titles, a lot of trophies, and a lot of money as well while they were doing that. So Optic fans obviously will be hoping that. I'm sure the Optic players themselves will be hoping that as well. And I'll tell you what, it'll be very good for the competitive environment, the Halo Championship Series, if we see Optic back at their best as well.
Yeah, it really will. It does feel like when we had Optic kind of at the Optic FaZe SSG battle at its height, right? Really, last season was one of the times where you really couldn't, if you single out moments in the history of competitive Halo when there have been kind of 3 teams that are front running, there aren't that many examples throughout history. There's often a number 1 and a number 2. However, in the middle of last season, there was every question to be asked and every answer to be found in terms of which of those 3 was the best. In the end, of course, FaZe closes it out there. Now you're defending world champions, and I think Optic Gaming fans are thinking, you know what, with the way this team is looking and all of the hopes for this season, this could be a very different year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how these teams match up against each other. We mentioned how FaZe are kind of seen as the blueprint, so to speak, I think, for how teams want to approach the game and the team to beat at the moment. But yeah, you're looking at Optic and Space Station, they've made moves to beat them. It's not a case of making moves for the sake of it. They've made moves to win more championships, and I think if we see the performances we expect from these teams and they're playing at their height, we're going to still be going into every event. You're going to ask 10 people who's going to win the event, and they're going to give you different answers every time.
Right, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I think the height that we saw last year in terms of the competitive level of the game, and we talk all the time about the small margins that we saw at the level that was played last season. When you look at a weapon like the Bandit, and you're already seeing it. I mean, the battles that we've seen on screen, I'm sure everyone in the room and everyone at home is already seeing it, especially on land. These are clean battles. Players are getting turned on, they're getting reversal, they're getting just absolutely outshot. Melee battles that are clean. You're seeing less trades already. You're already seeing just what this Bandit feels like on land. That combined with the competitive settings really does set us up for quite a year in terms of small margins between the top teams.
Well, here we go then. Map number 3 is ready to go. Optic Gaming on the cusp of closing the series out in a 3-0 fashion. Exactly what they would have wanted in their first series on the main stage here in Arlington. King of the Hill was the game type we're going to be playing, and we've got some new hills. We're off to the batteries first.
Yeah, and as we said, it really feels like this is where this map should kick off. When we talk about bottom middle and the old camo hill to start, it really was an entire mosh pit. And oftentimes, as you remember from last season, many will remember, you had a lot of time elapsed in the early game before the hill was secured, which created this semi-awkward, oftentimes exciting, but a little bit awkward battle for the final hills of the game because there had already been so much time lost on the bottom hill. Now that we have things moving instead over to batteries, it just feels like this is where the game should kick off. You have a lot more straightforward of a flow of the hills as well.
Yeah, I love it, to be honest. I think some of the simple as changing the position of the hills just makes everything more fightable, right? I think I mentioned we were talking about this before the tournament. Like, I like the batteries hill because it's not a free hill, right? It's not a hill that like the old elevator hill where you lock down your crosses, it's one
First
or two
wipe
pushes,
and
we
you're
give it
good.
up, we move on to the next one. You're vulnerable inside of the hill, especially from respawners who can nade in that hill. We've already seen some really GB-style nades. I'm not talking about Golden Boy, because you don't want those, but
Oh, God,
yeah,
no.
that you can get into that hill and flush players out or cause damage before you even take damage yourself.
Right.
And I think that's the brilliance of King of the Hill, right? You control an objective when you're almost at a positional disadvantage, and I think it's great that first hill, and it really tests teams to have to hold and have to break, and it's the perfect start.
It really is, and I think it's going to just provide us with just a lot more of a competitive environment off the opening, as you said, in terms of Recharge Hill, and also just in terms of the entire new flow of the hills. Just gives us not only something new to see and play for, but really new strategies developing as well.
I also love the fact that the final hill in the rotation is the bottom middle hill.
Right, it's fitting now as the bottom middle.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we're really close, so have at it, everyone.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
see what happens bottom middle, everybody in, and let's see who can close it out and who can clutch a couple of gunfights in that final moment. It's fun. I think it's a really fun way to end
It's
it.
perfect, because it feels like the referee comes in and says, all right, this has been a great battle now. It's 2-2. You guys can just have at it and just fly into bottom middle. That's when you want the mosh pit, not off the rip when you're tied 0-0. We'll have to see if the two teams can earn that, if we as viewers, of course, can earn that as well as the final hill of the game. As we're getting ready to get into game number 3. It's going to be King of the Hill on Recharge.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let's get into this, everyone. BitterSweet looking to start the comeback. Optic Gaming looking to end this series in this game. And we mentioned previously how that first hill is going to be around the batteries. Well, the first battle, of course, is still going to take place around that power-up. The camo bottom middle is going to be picked up by TriPPPeY.
Oh, TriPPPeY going to get all the goodies as well. Take a look at this. It's not all the time that you see someone stack shock camo into the battery still off the opening. A little bit of a risk there. However, just going to get out and bait. I like this play here. As you see, they do lose the player, so why not sit back, wait, and bait? Maybe pick up a few kills of your own.
I thought you were going to say, why not be reckless?
No, that's...
Tony would have been smiling. He would have loved you forever for that one. Couldn't even give it to him. Anyway, TriPPPeY goes in with that camo, will be taken down. And BitterSweet did manage to kind of break through just a little bit there. There was a player who won an individual battle on their pipes to turn the attention away from TriPPPeY. Lucid now breaks in. He's got the grapple, looking to find a few more kills himself. There's 2 players in the pipes, and Piggy will win the battle that he should. So 2 dead, making 3 dead momentarily for Optic. BitterSweet with the chance to step in the hill now.
And just like we said, first of all, just got to say, I think everyone watching at home is going to agree, right? There's just a lot more to this batteries hill. You're going to notice really just not only a visual difference, but in the feel of the game as well. That there's just a lot of different strategies being employed here off the opening. As we say that, 3 dead for Optic Gaming. More points on the board here for BitterSweet as they cross the halfway mark on your first hill.
Lucid last alive, just waiting for his teammates to get back on the map. Playing the camo jump up at the moment. And now you're seeing those grenades come in. The Shroud goes in as well to try and keep the player alive, or maybe just deny the line of sight as Optic make their play. Cherished will fall as Mortally tries to clean up some more damage himself, but it's BitterSweet inside of that hill. Double kill here from Formal, looking to turn it into 3, but not able to get there. And BitterSweet will win that first battle, and they're up 1-0.
Big heads-up play there from Cherished, just sitting there on that back right bat. He knew exactly what he needed to do, just play the angle, and 3 dead again. Dead Zone's your last player alive for Optic Gaming. He's going to try to make some tunnel presence known and try to stay alive, but can't. Breakingshot picks up that kill as well. Camo looks like a burn based on the animation should be.
Burn does come in. Great shots from Lucid, by the way. This is not an easy angle. Only thing he's got to aim for is the head. And Piggy's going to be back down. Now turns his attention to the player in that hill. It's a little bit scrappy here around this underpass hill. And it's going to be BitterSweet who find 3 kills almost immediately, consecutively. Wow. Bang, bang, bang. 3 players fall. And Formal now last alive, and BitterSweet inside that hill once more.
Couldn't agree one more. Take a look, 3 players are alive there, so it's a really good timing push coming in from BitterSweet. As you said, they got all 3 kills at the same time. Not easy to do. That will lead to another 50% completion on the second hill as well. BitterSweet's outslaying 22-15 in game number 3.
Very impressive start from them at the moment. By the way, I'm really struggling with BitterSweet because I want to say bitter.
It's true. It is tricky. At least you didn't say pork.
But I'm saying, I have to say bitter. It makes me sound like
a little posh.
I'm in a high earners group. Anyway, Morley on the camo jump. Lucid trying to cut him down. Doesn't need to, those. Help will come in from teammates. Breakingshot's trying to sneak around the back, but look at those shots. Snaps onto the head here, Lucid. And now slide into the hill with a G-slide. 2v2 on the map at the moment, but the players from BitterSweet have just come off respawn, and Optic with full map control.
Yeah, that was 4 dead. BitterSweet's trying to get through tower as fast as they can. And just like that, we're just about tied on this second hill. A big moment. Does BitterSweet go up 2-0 here, or can Optic answer back?
Looks like BitterSweet have tried to push through the back of blue and buy the time for the players to move through the mid-bridge, but at the moment they're just trapped at the back of blue, and Formal might just be able to line them up and knock them down. There's one already for him. The headshot comes in onto Piggy. Breakingshot's next. Just the chest going to be tickled. It's the head that stays on for now.
Breakingshot's last player alive. He's at tower. Look at the progress. This is going to be an Optic kill. They do it. They tie it up 1-1 here. They answer back right away with still 3:20 to play.
Got that prediction there from Formal as well. 2 players spawned on the pipes, and if he would have waited for just a second more, maybe he would have had an opportunity to hit some nice headshots, but instead, his teammates are doing it for him. Lucid gets that next camo in the game as well, and going to get the info just by stepping in and stepping out of where every member of BitterSweet is. It's such a smart play because now all of the attention of BitterSweet is taken away onto what Lucid's doing.
Somehow gets taken down right away, though. It looks like maybe a pipes flank takes him down in the end. So it looked like Lucid was going to have more opportunity there. 2 dead for each side. This next kill going to determine who puts more points on the board next.
This is a really tightly fought game at the moment. Neither hill has been conclusive. But we could say that that's been pretty synonymous with the story of the game so far. It's been back and forth, and Optic just kind of getting the advantage in those final moments. BitterSweet once again get a couple of kills here to give them numbers on the map. TriPPPeY has to back down, but with the timing, it looks like BitterSweet haven't had the opportunity to immediately jump in that hill. Now they turn the attention to the objective. Breakingshot flies in to deal with TriPPPeY, and this is a good opportunity for them to put a little bit of a chunk of time on the board.
Yeah, a little bit of answer back there from Optic as well. By the way, we got to talk about the kills category. Not only does Optic answer back in the hill, they also were trailing by 9 kill deficit. They brought that back to just a 1 kill deficit. It's a good chance to get into a listen-in with Optic Gaming.
More here? Yeah. 2 bottom A, guys.
Look at top.
Pops one shot bottom A, breaking.
Behind like 2 flat.
Bottom tower, could be bottom tower.
2 dead, guys.
Last guy, bottom tower, last guy. We need time.
Just one
tower. Top guy, top tower. He's on commando. Commando.
2 there. 2 guys tower. 1 guy C plat to long haul.
Is he weak? He's weak top tower on commando.
C plat.
Inside
Bottom towers.
Still weak there. Watching C plat.
Camo 20.
C plat's still
Really
there.
weak. Bottom A, 2 bottom A, guys. 2 bottom A.
Okay,
One top tower.
Pushing tower real quick. Look at it. No, we need help A.
I'm pushing in. Bottom tower weak. Tommy, bottom tower weak.
Good shot bottom A, Mortally.
2 1 shots here. One shot bottom tower. Still here, bottom tower. Bangler and bottom A. Bottom A, last guy.
Camo's at 5, guys.
Running at you.
I just spawned long haul.
Nice, Joey.
Nice.
Camo, guys. Camo now.
And blue tunnel as well.
Camo, guys, camo. See that's in.
Drop blue tunnel.
And bottom tower. Watch Sane.
Twice.
I've got drop Mingler upstairs. Bottom A, guys. Bottom A.
Camo.
Bottom A.
Top, bottom.
Weak, 2 half wall, one's weak. 2 half wall.
Incoming.
Or one, they backed up to A,
Bottom
Matt.
A.
Yeah, they think they backed up.
Coming to you, Matt. I have shot.
Piggy's absolute C-pot. Another one, C-boxes.
Still got an A somewhere.
Yeah,
Still have Camo to work with there.
Top A,
Stay alive, Tom.
Top guy.
Top guy half.
I'm gonna go kill this guy.
Bottom tower. Trying to look using. I'm here.
Here, Tom.
Where?
Banger, hit him once.
Bottom tower, bottom tower.
No, guys, I know.
Bottom tower's weak. 2 shot.
Tower, one shot, big shot, bunny hill.
C boxes, boxes.
Probably top tower, probably
He's
top.
on the stairs, on the stairs.
Top is big for you, top.
C boxes, boxes.
2 guys tower, 2 guys tower.
It might spawn gold on us here, one spawning.
Back side, back side.
2 guys tower, one's 1 shot. One's 1 shot top tower.
Back side low behind you guys.
Here.
Back side low behind you
It's weak,
guys.
it's weak.
Nice,
One
nice,
shot on the tarp, 1 shot in tower, 2 tower. One shot's close
Watch
right,
you back. I
1
got-
C
watch
boxes, and 1
2 boxes, kill
getting
boxes.
shields, about to push back side low now.
Nice 3, that was 3, last guy, C box.
Church weak. Really weak.
Keep milking if you
Push
can.
you, push behind you, push behind you.
One guy went gold,
I got
one
it.
guy went gold.
Oh, that's my bad.
Still up. You hit him with that air. He's full health.
Tap shields, elbow.
Probably bottom there.
Needles. 2 guys needles, Joey.
Weak battery.
Nice, 2 dead.
Nice shot, guys.
One shot glass.
I heard that.
He's just
One guy-
sitting in.
one
He's
guy's-
just sitting
one
in
guy's
there.
hollow, one guy's
Not
hollow.
moving, Matt. Still top gold.
Try to
Glass.
shoot.
He dropped long, all big door.
No.
2 half shields. 2 guys long. All they just spawned there.
Spawn C play, yep.
Going glass now. Going glass now.
They're nading, man.
Joe was weak, guys.
Bottom tower,
I got
on
that
stairs. I'm handing out gold.
Yeah,
I'm handing out
Three.
gold.
They're 3 tower side.
Only
one guy long. Only one
Top
guy.
tower's got shot. One guy
We're gonna
glass.
kill glass.
Tower's 2 shot. Tower's 2 shot on the steps.
2 hill. 1
Here left, Joey.
I got needed. I got to drop, guys.
Glass is weak.
One shot long. Big shot.
Jumped up,
push
jumped
you.
up. Absolute
Got shots
glass.
in hill. One shot
Absolute
no.
glass.
Hear that? Hill's 1 shot. Hill's 1.
Glass is 1.
Looking. He got into gold. I think.
Trap back shallow. 2 here.
Yeah, top gold.
Nice, 2 dead,
On
guys.
Joey.
Back shallow,
Hit with the
guys.
5 topping.
I hear that. I'm holding needles right now.
Back shallow trying to kill me.
Okay,
guys.
what's up now?
He's weak. 2 shots on
I'm
him.
playing for Camo, guys. Yo, double stack.
Nice.
One shot,
On Camo, guys.
2 dead. 2
2
dead.
dead. 3, last guy.
Play for time. We
Last
should
guy,
play for
last guy
time.
Mangler.
We should play for time.
No. Cap.
Yeah, stop what I'm saying. Sorry.
Bottom tower.
3 dead. Make sure we get silo.
He's already pushed up. He was Mangler, guys. Mangler stairs.
Alright, I'm getting through. Zane. I got this.
Mangler pushed up. I'm holding glass for you guys. You're gonna get
Bottom tower
desperate.
breaking, guys. You might go front.
Top also.
Gonna go gold. They're going
Make a pit, make a pit.
2 guys tower, 1's glass.
Yo, 3 shots of glass.
I got one absolute
Watch
trash.
your bottom end. Good ballage going glass. Ballage going glass.
Enemy
Shield's close, just try to look, guys. We got 1.
Stun me
2 dead,
glass.
2 dead.
Stun me glass, guys.
shot.
One shot above you. One shot above you.
2 boxes.
You went towards commando.
Yeah, I'm coming
Nice
back.
shot. Good time.
Going gold. Last
Yeah,
round.
last guy, yeah.
Got a shock.
But you can help him, Zane, if you want.
Okay.
Nice, Tommy.
Either guys, I cannot. I did not
Batteries.
cap it. I did not cap it.
Bottom middle, one shot.
Finish this
Yeah,
in.
I'm one.
I'll go for it.
Bottom middle, probably.
We play time after we cap this, probably.
What's he got? Glass or gold?
was
Go for it.
glass.
He just got shot.
Incoming.
Glass is trapping.
Yeah, glass. Yeah, he's still there. He's still there. I'm hitting him.
Two here. I'm one shot.
One.
Yo, needles, Joey.
2 1 shots glass. 2 1 shots glass. 2 1 shots glass. That's 1. 1 shot glass on the left.
Optic locked down that next hill, and now up to 3-1 now. Just 30 seconds or so left in this game for Optic, but that was clean. That hill looked pretty much uncontested from them.
Yeah, really, hills have gotten cleaner and cleaner for Optic Gaming without a doubt as the game has gone on. With only 18 seconds left on the game clock, you can already tell they're going to play time here and wait for time to tick down. Up 3-1, 14 seconds left.
Lucid started to take over in the last few moments as well. He's 21 and 11 in this game to clean up so much damage. And doing the damage himself, it's a killing spree for Lucid with another perfect shot from the shock rifle. Optic Gaming look like they're going to be able to close the series out in the next few moments. Just have to clear Piggy out of that hill, and it's exactly what they are doing. But just in the last second, they stepped in for a second, but Deadzone gets it done. Optic with a 3-0 sweep, and Optic starting off strong.
Started off very strong, and let's not forget in a game where they were getting heavily outslayed, as we said, being outslayed by 9 kills, they end up actually outslaying by 12 in the end. That tells you just how different the second half of that game was, as you saw during the listening. Near perfect communication, absolutely perfect timing pushes coming out from them in terms of the coordination as well. That leads to a 3-1 back-to-back hills, 3-1 victory, and as you say, a 3-0 series victory.
And all the questions about Deadzone, you're starting to get your answers. This is why Optic made the move. This is why they wanted to pick him up. The stat line's insane coming in from Zane in that game. And that game 1 and 2 was everything this player brings to the team.
It really is, and you can just tell that he's been set up for success on this team, and that's all the team wants to do is make sure that they let Pznguin play the best Halo he can. By the way, he leads the game in assists yet again. 3 games straight, 13 assists to his name there, leading not only the team, but the entire match.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from him. He is such a good player to play off of. His communication is always on point. His positioning is one of the best that you're ever going to see. And I would tell you, it looks like Optic are looking pretty good at the moment. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from them, as well as FaZe a little bit earlier today when we're talking about our big teams. We've, of course, got to wait to see what SSG bring to the table a little bit later on as well. But 3-0 to Optic, it's what they would have wished for, and it's sure it's what everybody who's watching right now in the crowd would want it as well.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some highlights from that game. Also got to mention Formal 17 and 11 there. We saw some really good sequences from here. One of the most notable, I think, during that game was when he was Needles, just pressuring C Hill, pressuring Long Haul, keeping the team aware that someone was glass, could continuing to poke damage at the players that were in hill, and then also staying alive, wrapping around pipes, waiting for the damage to come in. Then after that, he helps with another gold battle. Then they have 2 dead, then they push. And you can just watch kind of him telegraph the plays with the team. Like you said, playing off each other with Pznguin. Great plays there that you just saw. We ended early, but coming off for TriPPPeY to make sure that that camo was locked down. Just really good. It felt like Optic Gaming got better and better as the game went on.
Yeah, by the way, I think we're just going to not quite catch it at the end of this game, but the shock rifle shot we saw from Lucid in the final moments where he just flew across long haul to big door and just saw someone on batteries and then just went, oh, no, I don't like you, get out here. You're going to
swat and fly.
Yeah, exactly. Just got rid of him. We're not going to see CTF Argyle as Optic have already got the job done here on the main stage in Pool D, and I think the biggest challenge is yet to come in this pool.
It certainly is, and let's not forget Optic Gaming in Pool D because of that 5th seed. This is probably, very rarely do we see them as low as the letter D, or the 5th seed, of course, in a tournament, but now they'll have what we said was going to be a more difficult bracket. Instead, looks like they're going to be ready to play here. It's a 3-0 victory for Optic Gaming.
Optic Gaming looking very, very strong, and a man whose hair is always looking strong. He's on the main stage right now with Blaze. Blaze, by the way, your hair always looks great as well. Lucid from Optic Gaming is going to talk us through the series.